Hello, everyone. I am here with my Dragon Age game once again, and I have to go back to a little bit of what I've already done because it shut itself off on me last night, so I'm gonna have to light that signal fire again. And did it just shut off again? Alright, we will get it going at some point here. If you hear any little tweets in the background, that is my parrotlet, Peanut. She is a blue fallow parrotlet, and she is my baby. I've never had a pet that seemed to love me this much before, and she's also way more demanding than any other pet I have ever had. So, she is the best. I just love her so much. If you don't know what a parrotlet is, they're very small. Sometimes you can mistake them for a parakeet, but they are not parakeets. They are a lot harder. She is hand raised and she loves humans. We are her family, but all parrotlets bite. Not all parakeets do. And parakeets have long tails, parrotlets have short, stubby tails. And this little girl is hand raised, so she's very sweet and loving. And a lot of parrotlets will be little butt heads. Okay, she's also a little butthead, but I love her. She is just warming her little feet on my computer, which she loves to do when I play video games. Alright, we have lit the signal fire.
The retreat.
But what about
and
the king?
Logan,
Should we not
do as I command?
A-hole, sounding the retreat instead of coming to aid King Kalen's army like a non-a-hole.
Pull out! All of you, let's move!
That lady, I'm sorry. I would like to like her. I think the game wants me to like her, but I think she's a tool. She knows what he's doing is crappy, but she's going with it anyway. I think that might be bigger than the one in Alistair and I thought. Poor Caleb. He did not deserve that. We actually don't think he's as ignorant as a lot of people. He definitely made some bad decisions, but he did them for the right reasons. It was a reason to die, especially for a monarch. When monarchy is bad. But honestly, you gotta have a monarchy. That's the way they do. Everyone is doomed all because of Logan being an a-hole. He wanted the king to die here. I will always believe that. He did it all for me. There went. Somehow brought down by a single arrow after fighting a huge ogre and doing just, well, it was challenging, but we lived. And Morrigan. The lovely Claudia
your
Black.
eyes finally open. Mother shall be pleased.
Watch Farscape if you have not watched it. I highly recommend. Amazon Prime. I think I think it's there. I can't be 100% sure, but it's an underrated sci-fi space opera show. I remember you, the girl from the
I am
wilds.
Morrigan, lest you have forgotten, and we are in the wilds where I am bandaging your wounds. You are welcome, by the way. How does your memory fare? Do you remember Mother's rescue?
I remember being
Mother
overwhelmed by
managed to
darkspawn.
save you and your friend, though 'twas a close call. What is important is that you both live. The man who was to respond to your signal quit the field. The Darkspawn won your battle. Those he abandoned were massacred. Your friend, he is not taking it well.
What happened to the
All
Grey
dead.
Wardens? And
Your
the king?
friend has veered between denial and grief since Mother told him. He is outside by the fire. Mother asked to see you when you awoke.
Thank you for helping me.
You were welcome. Though Mother did most of the work, I am no healer. I
I'll
will
go then.
stay and make something to eat.
Gonna grab this, loot a little bit, because that's what you do in these games. Here's my Alistair.
See, here is your fellow Grey Warden. You worry too much, young man.
You're alive. I thought you were dead for sure.
And if you're new to this and had not watched my previous ones and are not familiar with Dragon Age, that woman's voice might have sounded familiar to you. That was Kate Mulgrew. For me, she'll always be Janeway on in Star Trek, but she also did a great job as Red in Orange is the New Black. Before, I didn't watch the last couple of seasons of that show. I got sick of it. Anyway, I'm going to. It takes more than a
Duncan's
few
dead.
darkspawn to kill me.
The Grey Wardens. Even the King. They're all dead. Oh, this doesn't
Yeah,
seem real.
second time
If
something
it
like
weren't
this
for
has
Morrigan's
happened.
mother, we'd be dead on top of that tower.
Do not talk about me as if I am not present, lad.
I didn't mean... But what do we call you? You've never told us your name?
Names are pretty, but useless. The chastened folk call me Flemeth. I suppose it will do.
The Flemeth? From the legends? Daveth was right. You're the Witch of the Wilds, aren't you?
And what does that mean? I know a bit of magic, and it has served you both well, has it not?
Alright. Who cares what
We
she
need
is?
to
We
bring
need to do
Loghain to
something.
judgment. Why would he do
Sure,
this?
but
Now
how?
that is a good question. Men's hearts hold shadows darker than any tainted creature. Perhaps he believes the Blight is an army he can outmaneuver. Perhaps he does not see that the evil behind it is the true threat.
The Archdemon.
What is this archdemon? Alistair's the real Grey Warden. We should contact the rest of the
Kalen
Grey
already
Wardens.
summoned them. They'll come if they
Oh,
can,
good,
but
they're on the way.
I expect Loghain has already taken steps to stop them. We must assume they won't arrive in time.
What could the Terran hope to gain by
The
betraying the
throne?
king?
He's the Queen's father. Still, I can't see how he'll get away with murder.
You speak as if he would be the first king to gain his throne that way. Grow up, boy.
If Al
Yeah,
Eamon knew what he did, he would never stand for it. The Landsmeet would never stand for it. There would be civil war.
you think the
I
Jarl would believe
suppose.
us? over the town.
Al Eamon wasn't at Ostagar. He still has all his men. And he was Kaelin's uncle. I know him. He's a good man, respected in the Landsmeet. Of course, we could go to Redcliffe and appeal to him for help.
Okay, let's see. That sounds like an excellent
Such
idea.
determination. How intriguing.
I still don't know if Al Eamon's help would be enough. He can't defeat the Darkspawn horde by himself.
Surely
Of
there
course.
are other allies
The
we can call on.
treaties. Grey Wardens can demand aid from dwarves, elves, mages, and other places. They're obligated to help us during a blight.
I may be old, but dwarves, elves, mages, this Arl Eamon, and who knows what else. This sounds like an army to me.
So can we do this? Go to Redcliffe and these other places and build an army?
And then fight amongst ourselves instead of fight off the Darkspawn. Stupid low game. Apologies, I try not to say the word stupid. I'm training myself out of it because it is ableist and I try to be respectful of that. Just sometimes it slips and I will keep working on it. Anyway, why not?
So
Isn't
you
that what
are
the Grey
set
Wardens
then,
do?
ready to be Grey Wardens.
I don't suppose you could
Now
offer
that
any
you
more help.
mention it, I do have one more thing to offer.
The stew is bubbling, Mother dear. Shall we have 2 guests for the eve, or none?
The Grey Wardens are leaving shortly, girl. And you will be joining them.
Such a shame. What?
You heard me, girl. The last time I looked, you had ears. Ha ha!
Thank
Her
you, but if
magic will be
Morgan doesn't
useful.
wish to
Even
join
better,
us,
she knows the wilds and how to get past the Horde.
Have I no say in this?
You have been itching to get out of the wilds for years. Here is your chance. As for you, Wardens, consider this repayment for your lives.
very well. We'll take her
Not
with
to
us.
look a gift horse in the mouth, but won't this add to our problems? Out of the wilds, she's an apostate.
If you do not wish help from us illegal mages, young man, perhaps I should have left you on that tower.
Point taken.
Mother, this is not how I wanted this. I'm not even ready.
Yeah.
You must be ready. Alone, these two must unite for Eldon against the Darkspawn. They need you, Morrigan. Without you, they will surely fail, and all will perish under the Blight. Even I.
I understand.
And you, Wardens. Do you understand? I give you that which I value above all in this world. I do this because you must succeed.
I understand.
Allow me to get my things, if you please. I am at your disposal, Grey Wardens. I suggest a village north of the wilds as our first destination. It is not far, and you will find much you need there. Or, if you prefer, I shall simply be your silent guide. The choice is yours.
Okay. I prefer you speak your mind.
You will regret saying that.
Dear, sweet mother, you are so kind to cast me out like this. How fondly I shall remember this
If she was
moment.
into ladies.
Well, I always said, if you want something done, do it yourself. Or hear about it for a decade or two afterwards.
Do you really want to take her along because her mother says so?
We need all the help
I
we
guess
can
you're
get.
right. The Grey Wardens have always taken allies where they could find them.
I am so
Grey
pleased
Wardens
to have
don't
your approval.
care if someone is an apostate. I have
I
some
may
questions.
have answers. Ask.
Have you never been
From
outside
time
the
to time,
wilds?
I have been to the village I mentioned, watched its people, and pondered what curious beings they are.
Birdie.
On occasion, I purchased goods from the village merchants. There I spoke with men a little. There they stared and knew me as an outsider. Mother wishes for me to expand the horizon of my experience beyond the wilds. Even she was not born here.
Is that what
What
you
I
want?
want is to see mountains. I wish to witness the ocean and step into its waters. I want to experience a city rather than see it in my mind. So, yes, this is what I want. Actually, leaving is harder than I thought, however. Perhaps Mother is right. It must simply be done quickly.
How are we going
The
to get
real
past the
question is how
Darkspawn?
we are going to get your friend past the Darkspawn, is it not?
That's true.
Why?
We can sense the Darkspawn. Conversely, they can sense us.
But I'm also able to do that, so why specifically Alistair? Why are we singling him out?
You won't right away. No. It takes
Or am
time.
I just
We
too
should
new?
be able to sneak past
Alright.
smaller groups, but larger ones, or particularly intelligent Darkspawn, will always detect us.
Mother
Then
has given
maybe,
me
I guess.
something else for them to smell instead as we pass by. It is important we head out of the wilds, however, not farther in.
Something else for them to smell? What
I
skills do
know
you
a
have?
few spells, though I am nowhere near as powerful as Mother. I have also studied history and your Grey Warden treaties.
Can you cook?
I can cook, yes.
I mean, you just did. Never mind him. You don't have to
You missed your
cook.
chance. Now it's charred rabbit from here on out.
Oh dear. Tell me about the
It is a
village.
small place of little consequence called Lothering. No more than a stop along your Imperial Highway where travellers purchase goods from local farms and smiths. I would go more often were it not for the town's chantry. It makes the village particularly intolerant and unpleasant for a stranger
Yeah,
such as me.
A
I'm not a
chantry.
fan
And
either.
they never in all this time thought that maybe you were a witch.
Of course they have. They even called out their Templars once. They found nothing.
Good. Is there any reason to go to Lothering?
I mention it for its tavern, where travellers gather with news from other places. 'Tis small enough that our appearance might go unnoticed. Beyond that, 'tis close, and I know the way.
Oh, that sounds good. I don't feel like
Farewell,
asking about
Mother.
Pleneth right
Do
now.
not forget the stew on the fire. I would hate to return to a burned-down hut.
Bah! 'Tis far more likely you will return to see this entire area, along with my hut, swallowed up by the blight.
All I meant was...
Yes, I know. Do try to have fun, dear.
Okay, Alistair, let's level you up. Okay, raise up that strength, and we should be able to get you into the better armor. Oh, wow. Give you some more tactics, because... Let's see here. I suppose we'll go with the shield mastery, which really, oops, shield defense, I mean. And let's look at what you're wearing, Alistair. My little bird is chirping over here. I don't know if you can hear her. He is just talking away. Steel chainmail is definitely an upgrade here. And so is Havard's Aegis. I think. Yep, it sure is. Got a trial necklace. Let's go look at see if she likes it.
A fine gift. You
She
have my
does.
thanks.
Hooray. Pretty sure I'm wearing the best equipment I can right now. Alright. How you doing, Alistair? Let's
What do you need?
chat for a second.
You
Want to
don't
talk
have to
about
do that.
Duncan?
I know you didn't know him as long as I did.
That doesn't mean I don't mourn his loss.
I should have handled it better. Duncan warned me right from the beginning that this could happen. Any of us could die in battle. I shouldn't have lost it, not when so much is riding on us, not with the Blight and
What do you mean lost it?
everything.
You were sad.
I'm sorry.
There's no need
I'd
to apologize.
like to have a proper funeral for him. Maybe once this is all done, if we're still alive.
Sure.
I don't think he had any family to speak of.
I used to. That's an
I
excellent
think
idea.
he came from High Ever, or so he said. Maybe I'll go up there sometime. See about putting up something in his honor. I don't know. Have you
Ugh.
had someone close to you die?
Yeah.
Not that I mean to pry, I'm just...
My entire family was murdered just recently.
Oh, of course. How stupid of me to forget. Here I am going on and on about Duncan, and you... I am so sorry. Thank you. Really, I mean it. It was good to talk about it, at least a little.
We all go to High Ever with you.
I'd like that. So would he, I think.
Alistair is a sweetie. I don't care. Mostly. Okay, here we go. You know what? I'm gonna save again because we can go to camp. I think we should check out the camp. Not a lot to do here yet. Yes.
What do you need?
I'd like to
Ask
ask
away.
you something.
Essentially,
the
they're
Templar
trained
do?
to fight. The Chantry would tell you that the Templars exist simply to defend. But don't let them fool you. They're an army. The other main purpose for a Templar is, of course, to hunt mages. To that end, we train in talents that drain mana and disrupt spells.
Alright. Have you hunted many
No, I
mages?
never actually became a full Templar.
Good.
Duncan recruited me before I took my vows. I was only present during one harrowing. The ritual that they test the mages with. It's not unlike our joining, really. And just as deadly. The girl they tested, she had a demon put inside her to see if she could resist.
Yep.
And she couldn't. We had
That
to
is what they do.
end it quickly.
And
I
I
have to
mentioned
say
the
I didn't
Chantry
have much
sucks.
interest in becoming a Templar after
That's
that.
what they do to the mages. The
You
Templars
could
use
call
magic.
it that, sure. The Chantry doesn't look on it the same way, however, since
Of course
really
they
our
don't.
talents
They're
only work on
hypocrites.
mages. Against a regular person, I'm just a guy in a metal suit.
But others learn these
Perhaps,
talents?
but there usually isn't much of an opportunity. The Chantry keeps a close rein on its Templars. We are given lyrium to help develop our magical talents, you see. Which means we become addicted. And since the Chantry controls the lyrium trade with the dwarves, well, I'm sure you can put two and two
Yeah,
together.
they don't really get into the lyrium addiction thing in this game. They do in Dragon Age 2 and definitely in Inquisition. horrible. I can't
Well,
believe they
they
would
do
do
it,
that.
and they feel perfectly justified.
Of
You
course
don't
they do.
need lyrium in order to learn the Templar talents. Lyrium just makes Templar's talents more effective. Or so I was told. Maybe it doesn't even do that. The Chantry usually doesn't let their Templars get away, either, so they can spread their secrets. I'm a bit of an exception. Lucky
Yeah?
me.
Oh, Alistair.
What do you need? Ask
To
away.
ask you something. Tell me about the Grey
Such as they are.
Wardens. Such as they are. Where
That's a
are the
good
nearest?
question. There's plenty in Orlais, but who knows where they might be found. And the nearest Orlesian city is weeks away. If we go north and cross the sea, there's bound to be some in the Free Marches. Again, however, I just don't know where. I don't know anything about Grey Wardens in other lands.
Their
Here
headquarters?
in Ferelden, there's our compound in Denerim at the palace, but that's it. Loghain will have control over that and be watching it, no doubt. Beyond that, the only place I know of is Weishaupt Fortress. That's the headquarters of all Grey Wardens in the Anderfelds, 1,000 miles from here. But I've no idea how to even contact them. So unless we try to get back to the
No.
compound in Denerim, I suppose the answer is no. There's nowhere for us to go.
In theory, Caitlin had already contacted them before he died. So, what happens now that there's just two of
I
us?
imagine that eventually the Grey Wardens outside of Ferelden will wonder what's happened. Why there's no contact from Duncan or someone. They'll send someone eventually. Though who knows what Loghain's people in Denerim will tell them. Maybe they won't send anyone. We could try to contact them. But that would mean leaving Ferelden, and even if we did, they couldn't come back with us in time to stop the Blight. So that means whatever happens, it's up to us. I
Will we
mean,
need to rebuild?
eventually we would have to use the joining to make more Grey Wardens, right? But I don't know how to do the joining, or what's involved. I know it involves lyrium and some other magic, and that it's really difficult
And
to
Darkspawn
prepare,
blood?
but that's it. Unless we can find out more about the joining, I guess we better get used to the idea that there might only be two of us for now. Until more come from elsewhere.
So I guess you're not really joined if you just drink Darkspawn blood for the hell of it. What would happen if we just
Just
left?
left? You mean just left Ferelden? I don't know. If there's an archdemon, however, we're
It
supposed
would
to
be
be
bad.
the only ones who can defeat it. And that means the Blight would grow unchecked. Eventually, other Grey Wardens in Orlais and other lands would hear about it, and they would come to fight it, but they wouldn't come in time to save Ferelden. There's
Yeah,
no
that would be
way.
bad.
I'm not going anywhere.
I have no more
About the
questions.
Grey Wardens,
apparently.
anyhow. Fair enough. What do you need? Ask away.
Let's see. How did you become a
Same
Grey
way you
Warden?
did. You drink some blood, you choke on it, and pass out. You haven't forgotten already, have you?
If you
I
don't
never
mind,
meant
sir,
it
say
that
so.
way. Don't be like that. Let's see. I was in the Chantry before. I trained for many years to become a Templar, in fact. That's where I learned most of my skills.
You don't seem religious.
You're telling me I was banished to the kitchens to scour the pots more times than I can count. And that's a lot. I can count pretty high. The Grand Cleric didn't want to let me go. Duncan was forced to conscript me, actually, and was she ever furious when he did. I thought she was going to have us both arrested. I was lucky.
I wonder why she didn't want to let you go. Why did she
I
want to
wondered
keep
that
you?
myself. It's not as if she valued me highly. I think she just didn't want to give anything to the Grey Wardens, is all. The Chantry didn't lose much. And I think I can do more fighting the Blight anyhow, rather than sitting in a temple somewhere. I'll always be thankful to Duncan for recruiting me. If it hadn't been for him, you know, I wouldn't have.
I don't feel like he was a good man. Because he killed
No,
Jory when he was
it's...
trying to leave.
I'm sorry. I
I
shouldn't
just
be.
don't care about
It's
the Grey
fine.
Warden secrets. I'd rather
He
not
died a
murder
hero.
people that are trying to
They
go
all
back
did.
to their pregnant wife.
Come on, let's go. I think I'm done talking.
I'm kind of judgy that way, I guess. curious. How is everybody liking me? My puppy loves me. Alistair, neutral, and I think, yep, very neutral.
What do you
Let's
need?
have some more discussion.
Ask away.
So you said Arlene
Did
and
I say
raised
that?
you.
I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfells. A whole pack of them, in fact.
Really, that must have been tough for
Well, they
them.
were flying dogs, you see. Surprisingly strict parents, too. And devout Andrastians to boot.
And these dogs sold you to the
Oh,
Chantry.
there you go, listening to me again. You'd think you'd have gotten past that already. I ended up in the Chantry, sure, but I didn't start there. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Arleman wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough.
Your baby bird. Why did he send you
Arleman
off to the
eventually
Chantry?
married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, then you, Arlessa,
Yes.
resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10. Just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
What an awful thing to do to a child.
Maybe. She felt threatened by my presence, I can see that now. I can't say I blame her. She
I
wondered if
can.
the rumors were true herself, I bet. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Arl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming.
And you think the Arl will help us? No, I'm gonna say you were young.
And raised by dogs. Or I
And
may as
raised
well
by
have been,
dogs.
the way I acted. But maybe all young bastards act like that. I don't know. All I know is that the Arl is a good man, and well loved by the people. He also was King Kaelin's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story.
Did we talk to Morgan?
What do you wish of me?
Ask something?
If you must.
This is one of the little pet peeves I have. I've got the question, how did you become a shape changer? Even though I have not learned that yet. But I guess I know now.
Why do you ask me
You
such
grew up in the
questions?
Kari
I do not
Wilds?
probe you for pointless information, do I?
You could if you wanted to.
Oh, what luck. What is it you asked? If I grew up in the wilds? A curious question. Where else would you picture me? For many years it was simply Flemeth and I. The wilds and its creatures were more real to me than Flemeth's tales of the world of man. In time I grew curious. I left the wilds to explore what lay beyond, never for long. Brief forays into a civilized wilderness.
And you remained
For the most
unnoticed?
part, Flemeth taught me well. For all that I had been taught, however, the truth of the civilized lands proved to be overwhelming. I was unfamiliar with so much. So confident and bold was I, yet there was much that Flemeth could never have prepared me for.
Very daring. That sounds like you.
Equal parts daring and foolhardy, perhaps. Only once was I accused of being a witch of the wilds, and that by a chastened who happened to be traveling with a merchant caravan. He pointed and gasped and began shouting in his strange language, and most assumed he was casting some curse upon me. I acted the terrified girl, and naturally, he was arrested.
Well, gotta do what you gotta do. I'll just say that was quick
Men are
thinking.
always willing to believe two things about a woman. One, that she is weak, and two, that she finds him attractive. I played the weakling and battered my eyelashes at the captain of the guard. Child's play. The point being that I was able to move through human lands fairly easily. Whatever humans think a witch of the wild looks like, 'tis not I. Not that I did not have trouble. There are things about human society which have always puzzled me, such as the touching. Why all the touching for a simple greeting?
Touching like
To
a
begin with,
handshake?
yes. What is the point of touching my hand? I
I don't
find it
know.
an offensive intrusion. There were many nuances that Flemeth could never tell me of. When to look into another's eyes. How to eat at a table. How to bargain without offending. None of these things I knew. I still do not understand it all, truth be told, but then I
Uh,
gave up long ago any hope of doing so.
Me
When I
neither.
returned to the wilds last, I swore to Flemeth that I had no intention of leaving again.
I am not a fan of being touched by strangers at all, and eye contact, it distracts me and makes it so I can't concentrate. So I usually just fake that, look at somebody's nose. Yes, I'm autistic, by the way. Uh, anyway, that's the joke's on you. Well, I'm glad it worked out this way at least.
Yes? Let's ignore the entire Darkspawn threat and the presence of a simpleton as your only other Grey Warden ally, then. Not that
You're
I
mean
lack
to him.
appreciation for the intent of your comment. Thank you. Well, let's get on with it before the ground opens up and swallows us, yes?
I'm gonna save here because I actually have a D&D game in a little while I want to get ready for. There. So this was a short one with mostly dialogue, but you know what? I love this game and I enjoy that. So hopefully you do too. And see you next time. Okay. Goodbye. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.